this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome everyone back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you guys so very much for being with me today and each day on this journey. Our tangle for today is called Sand. It is by one of my favorite CZTs named Adele Bruno. She was the CZT that had the challenge on her blog for many years called It's a String Thing. And I participated many times in that. So this is a favorite of mine. It's a grid pattern, and I'm going to be using a Renaissance tile today and Renaissance colors, so brown and black 01s and a pencil and a tortillon. Now I'm going to put a graphic up of a sample I did in case you are wanting to add a pencil grid to this. I know some of you said on maybe it was Pickpocket or one of the other ones that we used a dot grid on, that you were struggling getting everything to be spaced correctly, and so I put a penciled grid there that might help you on your journey, although it may be more confusing. So let's see what we can get up to today. Now I am filming from my phone. I had a tough time today, or as you are seeing this, yesterday, with my previous video on Quib. I was forced to hold on to that until the day that it was due to be uploaded, and then when I started uploading that, the upload speed was so slow that it took, I'm guessing it's going to take like 4 hours. So it's now 6 o'clock in the evening, and it is about a third of the way done. Holy cow. Anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that, but I am going to film this video from my phone, see how it goes. I will tell you now that any breathing and moving and drawing and rubbing and all of that kind of stuff that I do is going to shake this phone, and or shake the mounting that it is on. So I beg your indulgence with this and for yesterday, and let's see if we can manage to do this anyway. So I hope that you can see my tile all right. I am afraid, because I'm filming in this format, that I'm going to have trouble staying in frame, but so I'm going to zoom out a little bit and hope that you can see that I just have auraed my outer edge of my tile so that it's a squared off border. Okay, now we're going to set up one of these, and I'm going to draw it with my 01 in black, and we're going to set up one of these dot grid things, and this one is going to have 4 dots across. So the way that I do that, of course, is I'm going to start on my corners. I'm going to guesstimate where my midpoint is. I'm guessing it's around there. And so I hate doing 4s. This is why I know how to do the penciled grid. All right, so I'm going to say around here and around here. That looks fairly good. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. Whoops, that one got really large. It's going to be okay though. About here and about here. See there? Look at me go. Okay, so I'm going to use these to hopefully get in the general vicinity that I need to be in. I know, me too. And again, it's okay to use the penciled grid if that's what you want to do. It's not traditional Zentangle, but nobody, I mean, for me, my attitude about that is based on this. What is going to be more relaxing? Stressing about getting these in the right place or drawing a pencil grid? So, you know, it's all in your perspective. You know, it's not wrong to do that kind of stuff. It's just, you know, the reason that they don't do that is because it involves pre-planning and they want you to sort of go with the flow. Although, quite frankly, some things just need to be planned, you know. So, all right. So this is definitely not perfect. Let's not lose our focus, Cindy. Wow, I started small and got really, really big and flamboyant. So I'm going to, in the end, ink all of these. And let's just dive right in there and do that now. And I can make these a tiny bit bigger. Maybe not that big, Cindy. All right, here I come, Jelly Roll. Probably would have had to do that anyway. Hope you can see this okay. I think the only way to keep them all the same is to come in with the Jelly Roll. But you're just gonna keep going. Nobody's art is perfect, guys, so just, you know, do the best you can and try to enjoy the ride. You know, and if you want to play with glitter pens, have fun. That's what I say. I had a glitter pen phase not so many years ago. I wanted everything glitter pen, and I learned a lot about glitter pens through that phase. Sakura has, that's the same company that makes the Pigma Microns and the Jelly Rolls. They have, wow, Cindy, ooh, okay. At least I wasn't down on the paper for that. Anyway, Sakura of Japan uses ground glass in their glitter pens, and so it doesn't dull down the color the way that a lot of gel pens or glitter pens do when they put the glitter in the ink. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on glitter pens. Okay, so here we are with a square dot grid, right? Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go through here and we're going to put a dot in the center of each one of these, okay? And hope that we can find the center. Hopefully that's close enough. Okay. So we are alternating, we are making these in an alternating fashion. And for me, this is one of the most reliable ways to get these kinds of grids drawn. So you can, if you have a better way to do this or just want to go, you know, that's fine. But I do it this way because it gives me an expected result usually. So this is a little off center, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so the next step, we're going to start in one of these corners, okay? And we're going to start making these little rice shapes, and we're going to use that to connect these dots. So like this, and we don't want these to get too wide or too flamboyant, okay? And so I'm going to continue this all the way down the row. I'm going to take my time. Ooh, that's a long reach. Didn't quite get that one in right. But we're going to be okay with it. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next dot over, and we're going to do that down each of these rows. Okay, or columns. I meant column. I meant column. Words. What do you want to do? Walk around changing their meaning all the time. Jumping out of your mouth when that's not what you mean. It's really rude. I'm just playing around today. When I get stressed out, I hide behind humor. So guys, don't forget there is a link in the description below for donating for River's teeth for her root canal. The vet's office was not open today, so I will call on Monday and see about getting her an appointment. As far as I can tell, this is the only vet in the state that does this, at least not in this area. All right, so now I'm going to turn this 90 degrees the other way, and I'm going to start at the corner and go back this way. And this is very much the way you do bales, right? Except bales has a line through. And you can make these pretty, but you do not want these to be fat. We have plans for these things. Oh, there is no saving this one. Now again, if you want to work with a penciled grid, then you probably aren't going to have these problems, but there you go. I'm okay with a few problems. I have to be. And we end up with another grid pattern. I'm just really liking the grids this year, I guess. Nothing wrong with that. The gritters are happy. You organic people, don't you worry. My organic soul will be back. All right, I'm going to turn this. Oh, for a penciled grid. Could we make a poem? Dude, Cindy. I want to fix this so bad, but no. We are going to live by our own words. Now, what we're going to do is aura on the inside of each one of these squares. All right? But nothing on these here, just on these, the squares with 4 sides. Okay? Let's start here. Now, the way I like to do this is to do each side so that once again I am repeating strokes just as I have been, same strokes. Now you can just do this in each one of these. I just find that my results are a lot more consistent if I handle it like this, because then I am focused on each stroke and keeping it the same as the last one instead of getting around these squares and how is that going to look. I already know how some of them are going to look. All right. And that's going to be okay. We are still going to have a pleasing result, even if it is a little off in spots. Okay, I think that's all of those. Now I'm going to turn my tile, right, and complete these squares. Don't get in a hurry. Those are my preaching terms. All right, so here's where we are. Okay, so some of mine aren't quite as perfectly rounded looking as others, but that's going to be all right. You'll see once we start adding the interesting stuff here, a lot of this is going to fade away. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're still working with our 01 in black, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to round the corners off of each one of these squares, okay? That's all I'm going to worry about is just rounding the corners. Yeah. I'm going to try to make them all look the same. That's all I'm going to worry about. Just rounding those corners so it's nicely rounded. And you'll see that we have discovered an orb-like entity here in the middle. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. Make sure that's a nice rounded orb. Yeah. There you go. And on to the next one. You guys don't forget to leave me a comment about whether or not the Friday time that we did the live stream was a good time for you. I know some of you missed it for appointments and things like that, but from an overall standpoint, was that a good day and time of the week to try to do something so that I can figure out when to do the next Zoom meeting that I want to do? There, nice. Okay, and I think you can imagine once we get these shaded up as orbs, how dynamic this is going to look. Remember to just keep turning your tile. So regarding the socks thing, I have peripheral artery disease, and which is something hereditary that I get. My mom had that and really struggled with her feet, and they were always cold. And so I have the same issue. My feet are always cold, and so everyone is constantly giving me warm socks or fun socks or something, because I can never just go barefoot because my feet freeze even in the summer. When I am hot and sweaty, my feet are cold as ice. So everybody is always bringing me socks, and so when I have a gift from somebody, I love to post a picture of them. And so today I've got my Nintendo socks on. These are also a gift from Tori. She loves buying me socks. And so they're old school Nintendo socks from those old school controllers back in the day. Back before we had big gaming platforms. Probably the Nintendo, what was it? Was it just Nintendo? I can't remember. And those little white paddles with the little pluses on them. That's how I saw them. I may still have one, but I think I gave it away to somebody. Anyway, interesting. All right, keep going. So hi to everybody. Remember to focus on the rounding the corners and not on the orb, right? Don't focus on the orb until you've got the corners at least inked in partially. Then you can look at the orb overall and see what it needs. What it needs to be happy. And I want you to remember that these do not have to be perfect. Whatever shape they truly are, once we shade them correctly, they're going to be fine. You will see. Trust me on this. I've been trying to catch up on email today while I was sitting here bemoaning the fact that I can't do today's or tomorrow's video or this video until I was finished uploading yesterday's video, or for me today. You know what I mean. Anyway, it was just frustrating. The fact that we're trying this from the phone presents me with another problem, and that's even though I have both my phone and my iPad are iOS, Apple products, and they transfer information extremely well. Even with that, an hour's worth of video to transfer is a problem. So I'm hoping that I can do that with the iCloud and maybe get busy editing sometime this century. Done nothing but this. Well, I had grandbabies here today. Insert picture of Javion blowing bubbles. Here we go. My hand's doing that funky jerk thing that it likes to do. I like for it to not do that while I'm on camera. I think you guys are going to love our result here. This is totally, this design, well, this is the pattern after all, but the Renaissance, the way the Renaissance colors and all of that are used is totally Adele's step out art. This is totally what she had on the step out, which was extremely cool and effective. So why not? Let's do it. Let's pay homage to the lady. Please don't bark. I can hear kids playing outside. I hear their voices. And I'm afraid that the dogs are going to hear them and start barking. I can't take any more delays today. But I am already much more relaxed now that I have pen in hand. I'm really excited to be drawing with you today. I think this is a really good camera angle. Time will tell. What are you guys up to on your Saturdays? Well, that was a disappointment. But we're going to work with it. Yeah, we're making progress here. All right, I'm not really meaning to tuck those behind. They do look nice like that, don't they? Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, 2 more. Then we get on to the next cool thing. Uh-oh. Let's see what we can do about that. All right, so this is lovely, just like this, isn't it? But we have one more cool thing, or a couple more cool things that we're going to do with this. So next, I want you to find your white charcoal pencil. See if I've got enough left on this to work. And you do not have to do this, but I think the next part is going to be a little confusing for some people, and I think this is really going to help you. Okay? So I want you to go through here, which we were going to do anyway, and stroke some white charcoal onto each one of these little rice shapes. Just like this. This is going to help differentiate these from what we're going to be adding. I think it's going to help if we have a color differential. And this is one of those finishing touches anyway. And I thought, you know, if we add this now, that's really going to help people with this last step. And you might, when you look up the step out for this, if that's what you want to do, the link is on Tangle Patterns under the name Sand. But when you get on Adele's website, it's called Tickled to Tangle. It's one of the loveliest sites I have seen. You might want to look around a little bit in there. She has such wonderful blog posts on there. She's no longer actively blogging. She says she might make a blog post here and there, but she's no longer hosting the String Thing Challenge anymore. And you know, life gets to you, and those kinds of things are extremely time intensive, and she wants time to spend with her grandchildren, and I do not blame her at all. So anyway, though, you can find the past String Thing challenges there, and you can also find more of Adele's patterns, which they are wonderful patterns. And there is also an article there about the original Zentangle tiles, where they're made, which is in Fabriano, Italy, and how they're made, and what a big deal it is to have the original tiles made there. That is the same place where they print the money for Italy. That's like their mint. So it's very prestigious, this original Fabriano Tipolo paper is fabulous paper if you've never worked on it. Okay, so all right, so what we're going to do now, we are going to Hollabaugh style draw in some more squares, and they're going to go behind all of these. And the reason I had us go ahead and put charcoal on these rice shapes is to make this part easier. I don't know if that will help, but we're going to try it. All right, so midpoint, let's see, before I get started here. Okay, I think that's probably right. Yeah. So midpoint between each pair of dots, I'm going to put a little brown round dot there. You don't have to do this. If you can eyeball the next part, that is cool. I think this will help you sort of this will sort of help us get set up better. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add squares, and we're going to do that by drawing behind over here. And so let me demonstrate. You're going to go straight across, right? going to stop when we get to the white part and draw behind. Try really hard to keep this straight, okay? We're going to do the same thing this way. I'm going to try to make that a right angle. Lift your pen when you get to that white rice shape and draw behind. Okay. Now let's look. The rest of this square will be right here, right? So in the midpoint, we're going to add the rest of that square, okay? And repeat. This is going to be like a straight line straight across. And you want, hopefully, you want your lines to be continuous. So you don't want, you know, to be curving up here and curving down here and all over the place. Try really hard to keep these straight-ish looking. I always have to put the ish compromise in there for myself. All right. So I'm going to go down here and do this again. Trying really hard not to encroach where the white part is. It won't always be in the exact middle, but don't worry about that. Okay, down here. Oh, I got turned a little bit, so let's see if we can work our way back up where we want it. Just what I said not to do, Cindy. It's going to be all right. I did say I switched my brown pen, right? If that wasn't obvious already. Sorry about that. All right, so again, turn your tile. Go back the other way. Okay. It's not all going to be perfect, but we're going to do the best we can. All right. All right, cool, huh? Still have more coolness to add. Now, let's see. I'm going to hatch the insides of every other square. So that's going to be each one of these that escapes the sides, okay? So this square, not this square, not this square, but this square, right? So I'm going to start by going around the sides and hatching each one of these squares. And when I do that, I'm not going to forget this part of the square that's down here. So I'm going to have to do my hatching very carefully, right? And the other problem or the other challenge for this is to keep your hatching all in the same direction at the same angle. And this is definitely an issue for me. So I am always looking for a way to hatch these where they will all be the same. And guys, I did another stupid thing. I did not have the camera on for the last part of this video, and I'm so sorry. I am too tired to redo the entire thing, so I wanted to sort of explain what I did with shading and the hatching. So in each of those brown boxes that we made, I turned this to the side and I drew a straight line from the point over, and then I matched that as my hatch lines, and that way I would know which way to turn them so I wouldn't get confused. So each of these is going from, if you hold your tile like this with your dots straight across the top, then you're going to be following this line across with your hatch lines, okay? And each of these is going to do that. And we don't miss hatching this one in the center, okay? The rest are blank, so it's every other one. Okay, and then for shading, we had already used our charcoal pencil on this. So for shading, then I did my normal orb shading, which was to add the graphite in a crescent shape to one side, and then blend with my tortillon in this way. Then I took my charcoal pencil and came in on top of that, put a nice highlighted area in there, and then came through with a cleaner tortillon and just sort of very gently blended the sections. Now, as you use your tortillon here, there is a whole lot of ink and you want to be very careful. I've already got a couple of spots as I blended that I had pulled, where I had pulled up some of the tooth. So you really want to avoid doing that if at all possible. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out that I tried, since we have overlapped here, I tried using graphite to sort of pop this up. But unfortunately, what happened is it just made this section really muddy. And so I decided to lift that out and leave this as it is and just use the orbs and such as the interest points. And the brown in the background is awesome. So this is where I'm going to leave you today. I'm so sorry about the end of the video, but if you guys will help me get back on track, then hopefully tomorrow we will be in better shape as we go. As far as I know, tomorrow should be without problems. So as soon as this video for today finishes uploading, I will start uploading this video for tomorrow, and as you guys see them, you will know that I am very apologetic that things did not go the way they were supposed to today. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for day 50. Wow, unless this is day 50. I have no idea anymore. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and thank you so much for your patience with me and for the stuff that's been going on.